It's Gnome of the Month, Gnome of the Month, Gnome of the Month. Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to my channel. This is Nova Gnome Creations, and I'm Nova, and today is Gnome of the Month. Woo! So if you are new here, welcome to my channel. I hope you have fun today. You came on a great day to be new to my channel because today is Gnome of the Month and it is the second Gnome of the Month day. There are two Gnome of the Month days every month. One where I tell you guys what pattern or idea I'm planning on doing, and we just kind of, get excited, get all hyped up. I remind everybody, hey, if you want to make a gnome this month, you can email it to me and I'll feature it in my video, which they will be featured in this video. And I let you guys know, my email's in the description, all that good stuff, and that you can make any gnome you want. And then we come back on the last Saturday of the month, which is today, and we show off our gnomes. So I show you guys my finished gnome. I let you know what I ended up doing, any thoughts, any notes, just have fun, have gnomey fun. And then I do a montage of all of the gnomes that have been sent in. So if you are new and you didn't get to participate this month, feel free to gather up some gnome ideas and get started on next month's gnome if you would like to participate. If you're new, you can also send me gnomes that you have already made that haven't been featured yet. Just check out my email in the description box and pop those over to me. Whether it's something you've made already or something you're going to make and then send to me, I just ask that you put Gnome of the Month as the subject line, so that I can easily search out these emails when I go to do my editing and I know that I don't miss anybody's. So if you want to make sure that I don't miss yours, make sure Gnome of the Month is your subject line. If you are not new here, welcome back, my Gnomie. I'm so glad to see you today. I hope you are doing wonderful, and I hope you had a good month. It's the last Saturday of the month, so we're pretty much done with the month now, and we're going to be moving into December. So exciting things coming up for December. November went by so fast, but without further ado, let's get into Gnome of the Month. So, okay guys, I have a confession to make. I did it again. I changed my mind once I got going. So, originally, this is the pattern that I was going to be using. And if you have been here, you'll recognize this gnome. I made this one for my September gnome. Yeah, September, which was our first month of doing Gnome of the Month. So I made this for my September gnome. So if you want to see how I worked up the pumpkin gnome, this orange one in particular, mine's not orange. Well, no, mine's orange. The hat is not that color. Then check out my September video. I will have my Gnome of the Month playlist in the description box. So if you want more gnomey goodness, that's a good place to go to anyway. And you can see not only the gnomes I've made, but gnomes that have been sent in my videos there. But I was going to make this larger gnome, and I was like, okay, it's November, it's harvesty season, it's Thanksgiving month. Even though I talked about when I think it was when I unveiled this, that I don't really personally think of November as a harvesty season. I know that that's kind of the idea with Thanksgiving and everything. But for me, November is part of winter, and I'm already shifted into winter mode. So, yeah, I started working on this gnome, and I started working on the body, and I was just not feeling it. I wasn't excited for it. And so I found myself not wanting to work on it. And so I changed my mind, and I decided to just do whatever I felt. So what I ended up doing was I listened to the call of the yarn. And that's honestly one of my favorite things to do, is I look at the yarn and I'm like, what does this yarn want to be? And I'm being dramatic. Obviously, my yarn doesn't speak to me and tell me what it wants to be. Not yet. Maybe in the future, as I become closer with the world of yarn and it can speak to me. But no, I look at it and I look at the colors, I look at the feel of it, and I don't know, I usually have an idea of what I want to do with it. And that's why I'm not a person who buys yarn for projects most of the time. I like to find good deals, find yarns that I think would be fun to work with, and then I go and I look at my yarn and I'm like, what do I want to make with these? Or I find a pattern and I go, okay, let's go look at my stash. Okay, what do I want to make with this? So like I don't typically look at a pattern and go, okay, they used these yarns and I'm going to go get these yarns. That's like just not how I do it. So I had the yarn that I was planning on using for the body, and that is this Warm and Cozy Yarn Bee yarn in mustard. And this yarn has some like black throughout it, and I will be able to show you that a little bit better because in my Gnome of the Month journal, I have a little section where I can put yarn samples, and I taped over it so it kind of flattened it down and you can really see the fibers of the yarn. And I will show you that once I get to it because I don't want you to see what I made yet. But I started working up this yarn, and so this was what I had to go off of when I decided, nah, I'm going to do my own thing. And you know what kind of like vibe I was kind of getting with this yarn and this yarn? Because I was planning on doing the hat in this yarn. And I was kind of getting like a rusticy sort of vibe from it, and so I wanted to do something a little bit different, not something I would normally do, but I don't know, I was just feeling it for some reason. So I decided to do a fisherman gnome. I don't know why, but these colors to me, I was thinking like old-timey kind of, you know, fisherman. So let me stick those to the side. So that's what the yarn spoke to me and said that it wanted to be, and so that is what I did. So I have my Gnome of the Month project planner here, and I did my little Gnome of the Month interior, and then I had started to write out my stuff all in orange. I almost said an orange yarn. I had started to write it out in orange marker originally when I planned out what I was going to do, but since I changed my mind, I wrote over it. And I started writing out the details. But I wanted to show you, if I can, there's what that mustard yarn looks like. See how I always try to explain when I use that, it has like black fibers throughout it. So that is what that yarn looks like. And then I did a little drawing of my guy. I wonder if I should show you the drawing or him first. I'll show you the drawing first, I think. So here's a little doodle of my guy. And then now let's show you the actual gnome. All right. I had a lot of fun with this. I got to get crafty with it. And like I said, it's really weird that I decided to do a fisherman gnome. I don't fish. I don't really, like, okay, my father-in-law fishes, but I don't, like, I've never been super, like, close to anyone who's fished or anything like that. So just, like, fishing is not something that I know very much about. But I don't know, I just felt like making, like, a little, like, rustic-y fisherman. So I'm pretty proud of this. Here he is. Here's my fisherman gnome. Isn't he cute? I don't know why. I just really felt like doing a fisherman gnome. So I got into my stash of little goodies, like odds and ends, trinkets, pieces of jewelry, brooches, stuff like that that I keep for crafting. And I made him a little key to hang off his hip. And, well, I didn't make him a key, but I picked out a key. And then I used this little bird brooch on his hat. I thought it just went so perfectly with his little vibe. And I gave him a ginger beard. And here's that yarn that I used for the body. And then I actually did the hat up on a knitting machine. I have a Centro knitting machine, the pink one. The cheap one. And I made him a little slouchy hat, and then I crocheted the border. And then the part that I'm really proud of is I made this fishing rod. So I used a polyfill stick that comes with your polyfill to stick it down in there, and I painted it. And then I used 2 little buttons and I painted those, and one side of them had print and the other side didn't. I painted both sides, but then I put the print side on the inside because it would be a little bit darker. And I wanted it to match like the stick perfectly, so I put the light side that was just wood colored on the outside, and then, you know, since it was painted, it's the same color as the fishing pole. And then I did floral wire in intervals up the fishing pole. And I used twine to simulate the fishing line. I was like, what is this called? And then I smushed together a white pom-pom and a red pom-pom to make it look like a bobber, and I hot glued it onto the end. And there we have it. There's my little fishing gnome. So for the breakdown of what I did, this beard is in Big Twist Value yarn in the colorway of Rust. It has a nice kind of natural ginger sort of color to it, so it works really well for that. This entire hat is made out of a mandala cake, Lion Brand mandala cake. It is in the colorway of Groot, and what I did was I worked it up on my Centro 48 pin, and then for the trim, I single crocheted 2 strands of the Groot together, one from the center and one from the outside, and it brought in the red that had been at the tip of the hat, and then also a color that didn't quite make it into the hat, but really matches the color schemes of the hat. And then the body is that mustard, what is this? Yarn Bee Warm and Cozy Mustard. This is a discontinued yarn that I used for the body, but that's the yarn that I used for that. And those are the only 3 yarns that I used in my Gnome of the Month. My little Fisherman Gnome. Here's a little 360 view for you. I love him. I so love him. I'm so happy with this. This was really fun. I love like just getting to be creative and doing whatever, and I'm so happy I did. I think I like this so much better than if I had just stuck it out and made myself make another pumpkin gnome. I just wasn't feeling it. Like, it wasn't exciting to me because I was kind of like, I've moved on from the harvesty feeling. I started my fall celebration in, you know, August pretty much. I was like, okay, fall now. I'm ready. And so I started getting into pumpkins and everything. So like I was ready to move on. But I didn't want to do a Christmassy gnome because next month is going to be, you know, a Christmassy gnome. So I just used that yarn that I'd already started with and went with it. And I love it. So here's your sign that if you're making something and you're just not feeling it, don't feel like you have to do that. You know, even if you want to make that pattern, set it aside, you know, make it another time. But yeah, so that's my gnome of the month for November. Little Fisherman Gnome. And I will go ahead and I will get to editing because I need to go through and get all the gnome of the month pictures out and get my montage ready. I'm excited to see what everybody's made. I already have seen some of them over the course of the month when people were sending them in, and they were very exciting. And actually, some of them could be little posses with my Fisherman Gnome because I feel like their color schemes match. But I hope everybody is having a wonderful day, and I hope you guys enjoyed my little Fisherman Gnome this month for Gnome of the Month. And I hope you guys are having a great gnome-filled day and that you guys enjoy the gnome montage coming up. Leave a comment below. Let people know if you liked their gnomes. Give them some positivity. Leave a positive comment. And I will see you guys later. Bye, guys!